Hello all, welcome back to Redeeming Hope. This is episode 1 in our series, The Sound of Redemption. I'm Julie Lane, survivor, musician, and educator on a journey of restoration after a lifetime of trauma and abuse. In season 1, I shared a bit about my healing journey. And in season 2, I shared moments from my story where trauma shaped the way I lived and coped. And today, now in season 3, I want to talk about something that changed everything for me. Trauma just doesn't live in our memories, it lives in our bodies. And for years, I didn't understand why stillness felt unsafe or why silence felt threatening. My body remembered what my mind tried to forget. Yet that realization is a big part of what led me back to my harp. I began playing the harp when I was 10 years old. And before that, I began playing the piano when I was 5. And when I was 9 years old, a harpist came to my elementary school and played the harp. And when I got home, I told my parents I wanted to learn how to play the harp. And until I sat here writing these words that I'm sharing with you today, I am for the first time fully sensing that this was God's plan for me. And at the age of 9, I could not imagine where my music would take me, or even that it had a future in my life. How it's rooted, it would become in my soul, and how it would eventually lead me out of the trauma and abuse I've endured. My harp has been a constant in my life. Yet, for many years, it sat silently in the idyllic corner of my home. And as a child, bullied and made fun of by my siblings, by the age of 20, though, I was playing for organizations such as Disney, performing with artists such as Ray Charles, Bernadette Peters, Sandy Patty, and even the rock band The Who. My harp soon became not an instrument of peace and beauty. Rather, it was an instrument that was going to be used against me too, to be shamed and to be shunned. So there my harp sat in the corner, seldom played, but yet a constant connection to it, tugging at me to sit down and play. Now, after a 30-year hiatus from my professional years, I've returned to my harp. And in this season 3, I would like to share this part of me, how it is helping me to recognize what it is and then move me to what can be again. Here's a picture of my very first harp. It was quite small, only 4 octaves, with levers at the top of the neck. I had to move these levers manually to set my key signatures or to make accidentals as I played. After playing this harp for about 3 years, I became proficient enough to get a pedal harp. And this is a picture of my first pedal harp. It had 7 octaves, and instead of manual levers in the neck, key signatures and accidentals are done with my feet. There are actually 7 pedals on a harp, 1 for each of the musical notes. So if you've ever wondered why one of my Instagram accounts is called 7 Pedals, well, now you know. About after 5 years on my first pedal harp, I purchased my first concert grand harp. Although this one here is not the very first concert grand harp I owned, it is one of a few that I had over the years. I would leave one in my car to get to and from performances. I had one at the 5-star restaurant where I was playing. And I usually had 1, maybe even 2 in my house where I had my music studio and taught lessons. I found it tremendously hard, though, to sit back down behind this harp for the first time in many, many years. I started by just allowing myself to look at it, admire it, see its beauty, to recall the peaceful sounds that I can make. I began to talk to it, to remember the feeling of playing the harp, the technique that is now a part of me, very similar to once you learn how to ride a bike, you always will know how to ride a bike. I then allowed myself to just tune it every day, something a harpist has to do throughout the day when performing and practicing. What I came to realize, though, is that the harp actually became a trigger for me. I associated it with the shunning I had endured for about 18 years with a large extended in-law family. In that family, my career was not recognized. I was supposed to be invisible, silent, ashamed of who I am. My accomplishments, my gifts were not to be talked about. And the ability to perform on stage with many amazing artists, to perform in front of thousands, shrank down to paranoia, terror that anyone could even hear me play, even in my own house. The harp once offered me a kind of stillness, peace, beauty in my soul that I didn't know how to find for myself unless I was here with my harp. And today the harp is helping me to find myself again, to share my gift, and to rediscover my confidence. It's becoming a place where my body finally knew it was safe enough to soften. This is what the Sounds of Redemption is all about. Learning, unlearning, and reclaiming our wholeness together. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, offered comfort, or helped you feel less alone, I invite you to subscribe so you can continue walking with me through the journey of healing and music. You can also find more reflections, writings, and updates on my website, juliemlane.com, or connect with me on Instagram at Redeem Thyself in 7 Petals. And you can also listen to my podcasts, Redeeming Stories, on Apple and Spotify. This is Season 3, The Sound of Redemption, and I'm grateful to share it with you.